move these all over here. And if those are in your way here, just scoop them to the side as I'm starting to show the calf hearts. I know we didn't do the papillary muscles or the chordae tendineae, but I probably will ask, if I'm going to ask you those, I'm going to ask you on these hearts anyway, because they're much nicer.
And that'll be asked on the living.
Yeah, the formerly living heart. Okay, so we're going to start with this specimen, and this one's going to be harder for me to turn around since I can't lift up the dish, so you guys might want to come in a little bit more
Keep
here.
things a little cleaner.
That's right. I want to wear these pants for the rest of the day. So, okay. So one of the things I like about this particular specimen is that you can see all 4 chambers, and that's not true on every one of the other hearts that we have. Now, the first question, you know, with the models, it's pretty easy to tell right and left because they're in the same orientation. The hearts are not necessarily going to be. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, which is the right side and which is the left side? Okay? So where are you going to look to help yourself know? Okay, you could look at the apex. What else could you look at? It's a little surer.
Top, like the aorta.
The thickness.
Can you tell which is the aorta here easily?
Okay, maybe not.
Okay.
So the thickness of the yeah, there.
The
whatever you call it.
myocardium?
Yeah,
Okay,
myocardium.
good. That to me is probably the easiest thing to tell. Because you can see that there's a big opening here. That's one of the ventricles. Okay, and you can see that you've got another big opening here. That's the other ventricle. You can see some things that look like valves. Okay, so these look like atria here. So here's one ventricular wall. Here's the other one. You don't want to look at the septum for this. This is the interventricular septum here, but you don't want to look at that for determining right versus left because that's shared by both. That'll give you a false impression. You want to go to the outside. Okay, so you're comparing basically what you see here with what you see here. And which one is going to have the thicker myocardium, the right ventricle or the left ventricle? The left ventricle. Okay, so that means if this is side A and this is side B, which one is the left side? A. Good. Okay, so this has to be the left ventricle here. This has to be the right ventricle. So that makes this the left atrium. And that makes this the right atrium. Okay. Now, what can you see really nicely on this? Well, you can see the flaps of the left atrioventricular valve pretty well here, I'd say. Okay.
The
Chordae tendineae.
the
Bicuspid or
the semilunar.
mitral. Bicuspid or mitral. And then you can also absolutely see the chordae tendineae very well. Okay. Jen, I think I have a probe in this pocket. Could you reach in there and grab it for me, metal probe? Thank you. It was clean until now. Okay. Okay, so here's the chordae tendineae that you can see very well. Okay. And then coming off of the wall of the ventricle, and I'm going to get a better specimen for that. You have papillary muscle. Okay, so see where the cord ends
Yes.
on the ventricle wall? That bump that the cord is attached to on the ventricle wall would be the papillary muscle.
That's the left.
They're on both sides, right?
They are on
They are.
both sides. Which side are they going to be larger?
On the left.
On the left, that's correct. Okay, so we've got a nice big papillary muscle there.
Can you point to
Right.
that one again?
Sure, right
Yeah?
there.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And so what would I be likely to ask you on the heart besides that? Okay, you can see the tricuspid valve here as well. So the AV valves, if you can see all 4 chambers, I'd feel safe asking you which one is which. The layers of the heart wall, I almost always do on the hearts themselves because they're usually easier to see here.
So the
Which would be-
outside is the, that's the epi, right?
Epicardium.
The medium is, mayo, how you say that?
Myocardium. Myocardium.
And
And
that,
then
and
this-
the inside is the endo, right?
Endocardium, correct. Okay. And as I turn over here, you can see that in the actual,
Can I ask a quick question?
sure.
You know when you take your practical, how you get confused? So you know how the endo is by the AV valves? Like, would you be like, which would you say, which leg